Our speaker today is our own Susan Thomas. Now, Susan's a very central figure at the fellowship. She's one of the ministers here. She also serves as our office manager, has done that several years. And I'm pretty sure she's also the longest continuous member of the fellowship, having started around 1975. But with all of that, there's a few things I think that people may not be aware of. Were you aware that she's also the editor of our email newsletter, which is our main regular publication? And when I say editor, I mean editor, writer, copy editor, researcher, compiler, layout designer, and if anything is in the newsletter, it was either written by, compiled by, or selected by Susan. But beyond all of that, her main ministry has always been music. She served as professional violinist in the Virginia Symphony for 14 years and currently teaches violin, viola, cello, piano, and voice. But as important as music is, in Susan's case, it sometimes is a gateway to an even deeper ministry, because many of her students have been special in one way or another. They're either special needs people who communicate through music better than any other modality, or they're musical prodigies that are poorly understood by most people, but Susan understands them. So please welcome our own Susan Thomas.
Good morning, and welcome to the season of celebrating light. At this time of the year, you know, the days are getting shorter, leading up to our winter solstice on December 21st at precisely 4:19 a.m. That sounds more like Lloyd, doesn't it? Speaking, the details, Dr. Spock and all that. Anyway, it's a time when we are told 'tis a season to be jolly. Hopefully we've all had some jolly, and it's a season to be busy. Has anybody here been busy so far this season? Okay, I was just on the phone with Chris Van Cleve, and we were joking about so many things, and he said, be sure to tell the people to avoid bah humbug-itis. So there will be no bah humbug in here today, at least not in this room, right? Because we all are family, we're all spiritual family, we appreciate each other, we love each other, we share our light with each other. We are, in fact, called the Fellowship of the Inner Light, and our inner light and external lights all join together. I want to give you a scientific definition of light. As a wave, light can expand and radiate in all directions. It can interfere with other waves, bend around corners, carry energy and momentum, and interact with matter. And when we express the light, the same is true. The love energy expands and it ripples out. So what would be maybe a definition of spreading the light? There's a quote where several people actually said this: there are two ways of spreading the light, to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. So we are all sparks of God, we are all sparks of light, and we have the ability to bring positivity and inspiration to ourselves and others. And of course we need to start with ourselves, don't we? Because sometimes those pesky thoughts just bug us, and we have to find our way to dismiss them and let them go. Now, throughout recorded history, many cultures and countries have recognized that winter is kind of a naturally inward time, almost hibernating, if you will, an inward time for reflection and quiet. And in the cold places, people are indoors more. And they know that there will be light. It might reveal itself in different ways. And gradually, as soon as that solstice happens, the days gradually get longer. And so many of the customs that we even use today in our modern day celebrations actually started thousands of years ago. And the main winter celebrations we have here, obviously, are Christmas, Hannakah, and Kwanzaa. Now, most scholars and many psychics believe Jesus was born in the spring. However, what better time to celebrate than at the time of the solstice, when a light comes into the darkest time, right? And increases each day. And Jesus, as a light, came into the world and brought increase of light and activated our lights. So no matter what the actual day was that he was born, it's a great day to celebrate the coming into the world. I want to tell you just a little bit of interesting facts in case you didn't know it about Kwanzaa and Hannakah. Now, Kwanzaa is the most recent holiday developed in the West. It came about in the 1960s, and it was a time of learning, family, and celebration. And during that week, communities and families get together, they share a feast, they honor the ancestors, and they affirm the bonds between them, and they celebrate African and African American culture. This year, it starts on December 26th, the day after Christmas, and goes all the way to January 1st. Now, Hannakah this year begins on the evening of Christmas Day, all at the same time this time, and it's the Jewish 8-day wintertime festival of lights. Carol grew up with Hannakah, and Jerry and Sharon and many people in this church. And they celebrate with a nightly menorah lighting, special prayers and foods. And the Hebrew word Hannakah means dedication. It was named that because it celebrates the rededication of the Holy Temple. There was the miracle you've probably heard of where they had enough oil to burn for one night and it burned for 8. That's why they do the 8 days of Hannakah. So every single one of these holidays, the known and the unknown and the ancient ones, all have something in common. The human soul searching for the light within and the light without, and creating some form of celebration so that we remind ourselves of where we come from and who we really are. And with a lot of joy, a lot of fun, and interesting different little things in different countries. Now, we're all familiar here with Santa Claus. I'm sure he will visit you, Marnette, on Christmas morning. And Jerry Teplitz might be visited too, you never know, okay? But anyway, the way we celebrate Santa Claus in our country is mostly influenced by during the 1800s, when The Night Before Christmas was written, and it became the wonderful the North Pole and the snow and the snowman and Frosty the Snow, all of that evolved from that. But actually, St. Nicholas was born in what is now modern-day Turkey. And he was known for giving gifts and being so generous, and it was so incredible that it became a thing to create St. Nicholas Day. And my friends have told me about this, and I looked it up online, so it must be true, right? But they told me, I heard it from the horse's mouth, in Belgium and in Holland, Santa comes a different day. He does not come December 25th like he does here. After all, he's got a big world to go to, right, Marnette? So anyway, it's December the 5th morning in Holland, in the Netherlands, and December the 6th in Belgium. And it's St. Nicholas. And they're out of school, work, whatever. That's their big day for that. Parades, you name it, okay? And then Christmas Day, they still do a lot of what we do, like church on Christmas Eve or day, and being with family and sharing gifts with each other on the 25th. So there are slightly different ways that people do. And then many of our customs, like the Christmas tree, that was being done before Christ was born, and with the so-called pagans, and particularly out of Germany. And you've all heard of the Yule log and all of these different things, mistletoe. You could do a whole talk on any one of these things and find interesting stuff about each country and how they developed it and what it means to them, And whatever we give meaning to has life in it, and it just helps everybody celebrate. So, I want to share a few ideas about light and about the worshiping we do and about creation. And I'm going to share with you a little bit from the Course in Miracles and Paul Solomon on some of this. But anyway, I think we all agree here that your light on this earth makes a difference. John, I know it makes a difference. All these many things you've done, we've seen your light. Okay, we've seen everybody's light. And sometimes it's unconscious, but we all affect each other. We're all sparks of God. We're all made of love. And I believe there's as many paths to God as there are people. And we can agree on the fact that the source of our being has and expresses pure, unconditional love. And that's what we're here learning more and more about, not always feeling like we're there, but coming back to it and having experience with that. Jesus became this activated vehicle of love who came into this world to encourage us, to heal us, to show the way. And so let's all enjoy this journey to this consciousness and walk this path with joy. I like to picture like an airline steward, big angel saying, "Welcome to the earth. We do hope your stay will be a pleasant one. And we do hope your journey will be wonderful and you enjoy flying this universe with us," right? I mean, why not, right? It probably is like that. I like what Paul Solomon said about, in his seed thoughts, there's one that he says, "I need no excuse to experience and express pure joy." So this is a season to bring joy, to focus. Certainly, it's always good, but certainly in this season, let's focus on joy and sharing it with others, okay? It's a season to be jolly, so we're told. It must be true. And let's not hold back from that joy. Sounds of Joy is the name of the chorus that Sarah is singing in later today. I hope some of you can go to either that concert or the one after. And Paul said something else about joy that I thought was good. And of course, everyone in this room probably knows Paul Solomon's the founder of this church. He did a lecture called The Cause Self. And in this lecture, he said this, I quote Paul Solomon, "I believe that the source of this universe was absolutely delighted during the creation process. When our Creator put this little universe together, there must have been a lot of laughter taking place. Who wouldn't enjoy spangling stars across the sky while simultaneously coming up with designs for tiny bugs? I'm sure the roaches have some value, but I don't exactly laugh when I'm looking at trying to get them. Maybe I should bring laughter into it." Okay. The universe is an amazing creation. It speaks of beauty and fun and laughter and irony, where every type of situation imaginable is available to us, waiting for us to be co-creators. So here we are, effective co-creators in this creation, given the opportunity to create what we want. There's no such thing as living in a tragic soap opera that we didn't author. We're the playwrights of all that we are living. And we can change the genre, the story, the channel, the characters, and rewrite the script anytime we want. Sometimes it's easy to forget that, isn't it? Anybody here ever just felt trapped in a situation, even though you read all this and you know all these tools? It's so easy to go, "Oh, oy vey." That's a good expression. I like that. Oy vey. So, Paul talks about worshiping with joy. So what is worship? Worship is defined as the act of enjoying ourselves while trusting that our Creator intended that. Sometimes we make an assumption that our source wants us to be miserable and repentant, lowly, unworthy, and beg for forgiveness. Now, how is that part of worship? How in the world could a loving God with a delightful sense of humor be pleased with that? So, worship is about enjoying the abundance of life, what life really is, love. And the more you laugh, the more worshipful the experience is. Reverence is about looking at an altar and assuming that the objects on that altar symbolize the abundance of life that provide to us to be enjoyed because we are loved by our source, and the source has an endless amount of love to give to us. So I think we should all do our best also to embrace a peace that passes understanding. We all see places that aren't peaceful, people who aren't getting along with each other, moments where we don't feel peaceful. But our default position could be to return to peace, return to joy, and return to the different expressions of it, whether quiet or laughter, but, recognize that as the normal. Redefine maybe what normal is. And it's all about letting go. And I want to tell you a quick little thing about my 3-year-old granddaughter, Hannah. She loves to watch with her 5-year-old sister the movie Frozen, and there's a song in it called Let It Go. Lots of children love to sing that. Well, they were on a road trip, and they're in the back seat in their little car seats. Leah took a video and sent it to me, and it shows Hannah at the top of her lungs, just animating, singing, let it go, let it go. It's just a 3-year-old to be that into it. And when I looked at that and heard that and saw that, it helped me let go of something I was thinking about. So we can find our little triggers to watch, to listen to remind ourselves we really can do that. And then we can trust that there will be an unfolding, and we don't have to know everything yet with the finite brain, except a peace that passes understanding. It doesn't mean giving up understanding, but you can't go, how silly to go, I can't be peaceful yet, I don't understand this. Isn't that another way to think of it? How many things we don't feel peaceful about just because we don't understand it. So I like that from the Bible where it says about the peace that passes understanding. And the light that each of us has is more powerful than we realize. And we keep hearing and we know in our souls that our prayers are powerful. I like something that Marianne Williamson said in the Course in Miracles. And it has to do with what we're really afraid of. She says, and other people have also said similar things, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. Remember, Jesus said, be as a child to enter the kingdom. That little Hannah singing that was totally there in the now, shining. And we're all meant to shine like that. She says we were born to make manifest the glory of God that's within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in every one. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same thing. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So we're going to have just a small meditation where you're going to hear a song and stay in the energy of that song with the quiet as I read to you a commission that came from our founder, Paul Solomon, about aligning with the Christ. And this is the season of honoring the Christ child coming in. The song I'm going to do for you, and this, music's my first language, beyond words, but the words in here are a powerful story in this song. And the song is called Mary, Did You Know? The lyrics were written by a man named Mark Lowry in 1984. Later, a friend of his put music to it in 1991, Buddy Green. You could think of this, it's a historical story, but it's also the story of your own life or a child that you've brought into the world. I have always believed that every time a child enters this world, there has to be rejoicing from what we call the heaven worlds. There has to be a blessing from there. And the Christ is sending another spark here to learn, to grow, and to love. And so it's something to think about, is to be thankful, even when we've all had ups and downs. Think about being thankful for this incarnation, for being here on this earth, to be co-creators, to create heaven on earth. The earth is a beautiful creation that we can improve upon and evolve it. We're sent here to evolve the earth as an evolving expression of God. So, Lloyd is going to put the backing CD on, and I will sing this and invite you to stay in the silence at the end of the song to feel that energy as I read to you about Christ alive today. Go ahead, Lloyd. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy calm a storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? And when you kiss your little baby, you've kissed the face of God. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy was heaven's perfect lamb? And the sleeping child you're holding is the great I am. Oh, Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Mother Mary comes to us saying, let it be, let it be. Now meditate upon this commission from our founder, Paul Solomon. Christ alive today. What happens when a few children of light choose to express love and nothing else? We do not know for sure because it has never happened in recorded history. We do know what happens when a single individual expresses only love. The expression of God who was Christ, living and walking among us 2,000 years ago, totally changed the course of history. What would happen if there were 100 Christs alive today? 100 individuals expressing God as Christ. It would likely produce a new heaven and a new earth. Does it seem impossible that 100 expressions of the Christ could live on the earth today? How about one then? How about you? Sit with that for just a moment. And let us contemplate reviewing what is the fellowship of the inner light. It has been defined as the collective of all of those in whom the light has been awakened, and who, because of that awakening, have fellowship with one another. Those who actually in practice extend mutual support, fellowship, assistance, interaction, a strong and interdependent network between one another based upon the experience of the light within. Let's bring our attention back into the room now, affirming that we're all made of light, that we're all going to continue to spread that light. And in closing, I would like to say, I often hear people trying to make a distinction between spiritual Christmas about Jesus being born and a secular Christmas. I don't feel they're exclusive of each other. I don't pick one or the other. I think Jesus would celebrate the light in everyone and want to laugh and party and have fellowship and play and bring wonder to the eyes of children. So as you party and celebrate and give gifts, remember that it is an expression of love on the earth plane. It helps to get into the joy of children at this time of year. As Jesus said, a little child shall lead them. Today, we have a child who's here named Marnette Roberts, and she's going to help lead us into the next little moment of celebrating light and life. She's going to share a Hannakah song with us on her violin, and it's the dreidel song. And then she'll play the chorus of Jingle Bells after that. And so, I think we're just about ready to come on up, Miss. I just have to find my little piece of music that's hiding in here. I'll get it. Didn't really need it anyway. I had to make it up, the accompaniment. Okay. All right. So we'll come over here. Move all this stuff here. Marnette's a busy girl today. She didn't know she'd getting an award earlier with the family, and she has been a trooper, helping us with making those meals along with the adults for the homeless. That's another way of showing the light. Make sure we're in tune here. It's been sitting a while. You're all set. I was going to tease John about he was going to come up and do a jig, but maybe another week, right? He was going to do a jig. Instead, we're doing this. Okay. All right, so this is the dreidel song. It's a very traditional, fun children's song at the time of Hannukah. At another week, when we have more children here, we're going to do something more expansive that's going to involve their bells and all that. But this is just the chorus part of Jingle Bells. You want to do it twice or once? Twice? Maybe just once. Okay, we'll do once. All right. Thank you, Marnette. Another spark of light who just shared her light with us. And so what I'm suggesting is that we remember the immortal words from the Charles Dickens play where Tiny Tim says, God bless us, each and every one. Each and every one. So go forth and be jolly, even when you're busy. And no, what was it Chris said? No humbugitis, right? Yeah, keep your lights shining. Yay. Go for it.